Hi, I'm Chrissie and I was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer called primary myelofibrosis. It's a chronic form of leukemia, and the only possible cure is a stem cell or bone marrow transplant. I've been a part of the Comcast family for 22 years now. I work in the Freedom region under finance as the marketing and billing operations manager. When I'm not working, I spend all of my free time with my family. I'm a wife and a mom to 4 kids. Joey is 21, Addison is 6, Kylie is 5, and Isaac is 3. This diagnosis has been really hard to accept some days. I worry most about how it may impact my kids. Will I get the chance to see them grow up? I try to let go of the what might be, but it's hard when you're a mom who lives for her kids. They don't deserve this journey that I'm on. And I spend many sleepless nights worrying about them. I can't imagine my kids having to go through life without me. But the cold hard truth is, the only chance I have to continue this life of mine is a transplant. And I need a donor match to get there. The transplant process for the patient receiving the stem cells is extremely hard on both the body and the mind. And there are many associated risks, but I will gladly do it for a chance at saving my life for my kids. Before I was diagnosed, I rarely needed to see a doctor. I was healthy, and then all of a sudden, I wasn't. I went to the doctor for some minor symptoms and left with referrals to see a few specialists. From there, it was a complete roller coaster ride. At one point, I was seeing 5 different specialists, 3 to 5 times a week. I went from never seeing a doctor to seeing one almost every day. It seemed to every test led to more questions and a continued search for answers. After 3 months of seeing doctors, I received the results of a bone marrow biopsy, which confirmed my rare blood cancer diagnosis. I remember that day like it was yesterday. It felt surreal. It still does, almost a year later. I wasn't expecting a cancer diagnosis, let alone a rare cancer. And to make matters worse, I am considered high risk for the disease because of the genetic mutation that was identified as the driver for my blood cancer. This specific mutation is super rare, and doctors don't know much about it, other than it puts me at significant risk for the disease to progress rapidly to an acute form of leukemia and without much notice. I wake up most days feeling lousy. It's sort of become my new normal. But I'm still working full time. I'm still a wife. I'm still a mom to 4 kids. Life doesn't stop because I'm living with a blood cancer. And honestly, I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful that I'm able to get out of bed and push myself through each day and participate in life despite how I feel. It can be hard for those around me to know just how tough it is some days because I look healthy and I'm not one to complain. Right now, my labs and bone marrow are stable. I go for regular blood work every 2 weeks and frequent bone marrow biopsies to check for any signs of progression. My transplant team checks the worldwide donor registry daily to see if any potential donor matches are added. In the meantime, all I can do is pray and hope that I remain stable while we wait for a good match. This past year, I've learned that life can change in the blink of an eye. I never imagined this would happen to me, but it did, and it can happen to anyone. There are so many people, just like me, who are in need of a stem cell or bone marrow transplant. And sadly, most people don't realize the need for donors or consider donating until someone in their immediate circle needs a transplant. There are many patients, both young and old, who currently have no match on the donor registry, and their lives depend on finding one. When I was told a transplant was my only hope for a cure, I started researching the donor and transplant process. What I found quite concerning is the likelihood of finding a matched donor in the adult registry for minorities. Patients with an African American, Latino, or Asian ethnicity have a drastically reduced chance at finding a matched donor compared to those of white ethnicity. There is a real need for more diverse donors to join the registry. Everyone deserves a fair chance of finding a match and a possible chance for a cure, regardless of your ethnic background. A simple cheek swab is all it takes to join the Be the Match registry. I hope after hearing my story, more people will consider becoming a donor. If you're not a match for me, you may be a match for someone else in need and could end up being someone's cure and a hero. But if you can't donate for whatever reason, you can still help by spreading awareness of the need for donors. I want to end by saying thank you from the bottom of my heart for attending the event today. And thank you so much to My Abilities for hearing my story and wanting to help spread awareness. My family and I are grateful for this chance to help get the word out for a life-saving organization like Be the Match. Thank you.